But this is awesome. What's awesome about this? This is On Jorgensen is here. That is awesome. Haven't seen her in a little bit. Money Coach Chris is here. Haven't seen a handful of people in a little bit, so this is awesome. The context for today's conversation is what happened last week with Laura and Peter and the conversation about her looking for awesomeness and how powerful that was. And I thought we would do like a little exploration in what it is to look for awesomeness, to be like aware of the awesomeness around us, and also like kind of pull for the awesomeness. I've been recontexting my thoughts, saying like, hey, if something's doesn't occur as awesome, what would make it awesome? And how do we do that? How do we take something that like, this isn't so good, and just say it's like, what's awesome about this? Asking that question. And I think that can be a powerful context for us to come into this conversation and think about our lives. Like, what are some of the things that we don't like that we might say, ooh, what's awesome about this? And so let's do this just as an exercise. What are some of the things that you see as awesome in your life? I'm going to come to you. It's good to see you. What's like 1, 2, or 3 things in your world that like occur as awesome? Like, this is cool, this is awesome. And then we're going to look at ones that don't necessarily occur that way, but we'll get to that in a little bit. What is 1 or 2 things that are awesome for you right now?
Well, for me, there are two different kind of awesome. One kind is aligned with my goals. Those are something that I just love it. And then the other thing is spontaneous awesomeness that I can see maybe from my son or from whoever out there that do something that I have nothing related to my goal at all, but it's so cool to me.
So let me ask you specifically though, like, what's 1 or 2 things right now in your life that like put a smile on your face that you could say, that's awesome?
well, for right now, my mind has occupied with developing my program. So anything that helped me move the needles toward that is awesome for me.
Okay, so anything that
Yeah.
helps you move the needle. What's one thing? I'm just trying to like get specific, because we can go vague or we can go specific. What's one thing specifically that you would say that's awesome about what you're doing?
Well, to learn how to develop it more efficiently. That is my thing. Yeah.
So, well, to learn is like it's not. It just seems like what is like what's one. This is challenging. Maybe this might be challenging. Like
Yeah.
what? Like I love that this happened yesterday. It was awesome. But what happened? Like what's the specific thing?
Okay. Like yesterday, I learned something that I can apply to my business and to everything else. It's about productive procrastination. It's like good advice at the wrong times to be a bad advice. This is productive, but at the wrong time, it still be a productive distraction. It's not really something that really moves the needles. And I had a lot of them. So that was one exploration that I find out yesterday that I think is so awesome because it helped me really focus and be able to move forward. Yeah.
Good. So you learned something that helped you be more productive yesterday. That was awesome. Very good. Thank you for playing the game with me. Kara, over to you. What's something that's awesome in your world?
Um, this past Saturday, we went back to Tampa and we served some clients in medicine. And one of them is our second time around, a veteran with PTSD from the age of 3. He was molested, physically abused too, and then teenage years, drug dealing, gangbangs, and then combat 18 out of 22 years. And the first time he really resolved that trauma, and his therapist is like, what the heck happened? Like, you've been in treatment for 2 years and all of a sudden you're there. And then this time he really got present. Like we treated him a little differently. First time was sort of like you could see his anxiety come back right away. And then we treat it like we usually do 2 doses. First is usually hero into a micro, but this time it was micro into a hero. And then after the second one, you could see he was declaring, I am safe, I am safe, I am safe. And then it was like, I'm safe. Like he realized he was really safe. He's like, I'm safe, I'm healed. And he sat up and he just was crying, was like, I am safe. Like it was that, and that is awesome to have 40 some years of trauma just disappear,
Mm.
you know? So
40
that
years,
is
40 years of
awesome.
40 years of trauma disappearing is pretty
Yeah.
awesome. Pretty awesome. How was that for you? What was awesome about it for you, Car? Because obviously he had that,
You
but like,
know,
what was it for you?
what it is for me is like, I have this game with my husband. It's like, how do we scale this? Like, how do we make a difference? And, you know, we're looking at other programs, but we've been treating a lot of psychotherapists. Like the last weekend, we treated 2 doctors in psychology who run programs at colleges. We treated 2 psychotherapists who writ or are authors in psychotherapy. And we are really getting that what we provide is something way different than others that, and they've gone to other retreats. They've gone and where they're waking up, like this doctor from Ohio from a college woke up and she's like, oh no, you two, when can you come to Ohio to treat 15 therapists?
Mm.
You know? So it's like, now it's like, you know, there's something there. It's just we're brainstorming. We're working with a neuropsychologist who works with the government. We're working, we're creating our teams. We're working with a coach who coaches Fortune 500 companies, and she makes well over 6 figures. She's like, how do we scale this? How do we make this, for a base level? How do we create it for the executive level? How do what are we going to do? So we had a 6 a.m. call and creation call. So that's our second creation call. So that's what's going on. It's really interesting, and I also love my other games too. So
Sounds like a lot of awesomeness all around you.
Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you for sharing, Cara.
Sure.
Money Coach Chris, what's awesome in your world?
I think AI is awesome. I think the morning rush is awesome. And also what's awesome yesterday, I forced myself. I've been in a moment. I've been dealing with a lot of things personally, and I forced myself to get out of the house yesterday to go to our Rotary meeting, and we had Sheriff Grady Judd there, so I got to meet him in person and take pictures, and so that was awesome. So all those things are awesome.
Who was it you took pictures with? I missed I didn't hear it.
Sheriff Grady Judd. He's our sheriff in Polk County. He's famous for being crazy. So he's fun.
Pictures with fun, crazy people is awesome. Yes. Forcing ourselves out of the house sometimes is awesome, but maybe it's not forcing. We can change that context. It's awesome to get out of the house. I love it. And I think there's something that comes out when you like rattle off a bunch of awesome things, and like it's just something we're at ease with. It's like, oh, this is awesome. This is awesome. We see awesome everywhere. And I see Jackie's hand raised, and whenever Jackie's hand raised to me, that's awesome. So awesome to have you here. Jackie, what's on your mind around awesomeness this morning?
Well, awesome for me is being back at the Morning Rush, a place I can just show up even if I don't have it quite all together yet for the morning. So that's awesome. But second is, interestingly enough, I was introduced to someone who has created a modality that is preventing burnout in nurses and therapists. And they are also having the conversations around how do we scale this? Who do we train with this so that we're duplicatable? So it's an awesome conversation. When you have something that you know works, the next question is, how do you duplicate yourself? And so it's an awesome conversation. There we go. That's my awesomeness for today.
I think duplication is awesome, especially when you figure out how to do it really well. That could be awesome. I think healing people is awesome, and making a difference in people's lives is awesome. So thank you, Jackie, for sharing some awesomeness this morning. We're going to go into a breakout room in a moment, but Thorin, what do you got? What's awesome in your world?
This awesome conversation and talking about duplication. So I believe in not reinventing the wheel. What I dropped in the chat is an awesome game, right? It's based upon different, I would say, demographics. If you are formerly incarcerated, if you're a service member, if you're a frontline worker, and if you're an educator. Dealing with trauma, and they work amazingly, right? So I firmly believe in not reinventing the wheel. Car, if you think you have a game, this one exists already. Check it out. See if you like it. Maybe there's a way to support each other instead of trying to compete. So that's my awesome tip for today, my awesome share, my awesome find.
I like it. Awesome partnership of opportunity, ways to perform and do things together. That is awesome. Very cool. So we're going to go into some awesome breakout rooms. And the question here is, share a couple things that are awesome. The challenge, I would say, is what's one thing that occurs as, that's not so awesome, but you can find the awesome in it. Like, it's like you have a challenge right now, something that doesn't like really sit well with you. What you could share that, like, this is something that isn't really great right now, but what's awesome about it not being great right now? Jackie, you often ask that question of me, and Jackie's helped me reframe, like, what's great about this? You asked, what's the question you typically ask, Jackie? It's not using the word awesome, but.
WSGAT, WSGAT, taught to me by Bob Circosta of Home Shopping Network. It stands for What's So Good About That? It's how do you take the features of anything and share the benefits of it by asking the question 7 to 9 times. What's so good about that? Thank you for asking.
Yeah. What is so good about that? You can ask that question too. What's awesome about that? What's so good about that? We're going to share some awesomeness, and then I hope to hear some more when we come back.